So, another thing I got this when I was in Devon, which was kind of my one of my previous videos called An Update. I was basically in Devon and went, you might have heard, I went to the Combat Museum. Anyway, I found this lovely suitcase in an antique shop. It was originally a £5, but I managed to get it for £4. Anyway, it's very nice. It's very similar to my other suitcase that I have. It's almost in pristine condition. It looks like someone's chromed these parts. I'm not sure about the material. Hey ho. Nice inside. Possibly 40s, possibly not. Anyway, I've just kept kind of some of my American Civil War stuff in there, just for the time being. I'm going to probably store documents in this one, just because I thought it would be a nice thing to store my original documents in it, save them being in my sock drawer, a couple of drawers down from my sock drawer, because kind of when you're reaching into the drawer, things can fall down the back of the drawer, stuff like that. So yeah, so that's basically that. I think that was goodbye. It's the same make as my one that was my dad's, which was his brother's, which I think was his grandfather's. Anyway, so yeah, very nice suitcase. Moving off that and on to new things. So, I've been to lots of places recently. On the way back from Devon, I got these things. I don't think I showed them to you. Oh, another thing that I got that was inside that as well was a grey blanket, which I'm at the moment using as a blanket, but I'm going to turn it into an American Civil War uniform. Anyway, so on the way back from Devon, we went to a place called begins with H. Can't remember what it was. Anyway, it's really strange. They got lots of really awesome antique shops, but quite expensive prices for a lot of them. And also, well, strangely, if you're in the UK, you'll know what this is, but there was 3 boot stores, 3 separate boot stores. There was a Boots Opticians, a Boots Chemist, and just a regular Boots shop, which is just really weird that they wouldn't have them all combined in one shop. Anyway, it was just something I was thinking of at the time, which might be interesting. Anyway, so first off, I got this. This was £3, and I think it was great. You'll see me in the camera. Anyway, I think this is 1930s, 1920s maybe. It's got a lovely inscription there. It could be a fake inscription. I don't know. I didn't really buy it for that. Anyway, next to it, I also got these. These are like studs for shirts and jackets and stuff like that, and bits for the inserts on shirt collars. And the inserts on the shirt collars, I believe, are made out of ivory. I'm not going to really play with them because it feels quite fragile. It feels quite similar to the material on my ivory on the keys of our piano, which are also made out of ivory. And that we have, that's another story anyway. So that was £1, that was £3. I thought that was a good deal, so I got both of them. Now, I've been to kind of 3 things recently. First off, I went to a massive antique fair called, well, semi-antique fair. It was called the Shepton Flee in Somerset, which was absolutely great. I loved that. And I've also been to antiques fair in another place, can't remember the name of it, and also I went to a car boot sale somewhere else, can't remember where that was as well. Anyway, so I'll start with the kind of the smaller things first that I got. So I went to this car boot sale. It was reasonably large, not huge, but medium to large. Anyway, I found these awesome things, so I'll just set the camera down and I'll show you them. First off, I found this thimble. I needed it for making the Czech M60, well, Czech M60 to German M44 conversion. So I got myself a thimble. Well, it was almost completed then anyway, so it's kind of a bit of a fail, but anyway. And I also found this from the same guy. It was £2, and this is a cigar cutter. So what happens is you stick your cigar in there or there, and then you just do this, and it cuts the cigar to the desired shape. And it's £2. It's probably 70s by the look of the design. It says stainless, which is stainless steel, obviously. So that means that it is probably not wartime. It says foreign on the side of it, but hey ho, it's sort of thing similar to the design of the stuff that was in the 40s, because I got an original kind of 20s one, I think it's 1920s, 1910s one, which is very similar to this, so I was like, why not, it's £2. Anyway, so I then found another guy. This guy was really interesting, and he had a whole load of stuff. That's quite difficult to open, this one. This is a little fruit knife, or mini pocket knife thing. And what the guy said was that, and I think he's correct here, is that you would fix this onto the end of your watch chain, if you're a gentleman. And this would almost certainly have only been owned by a gentleman, and no one else, or it would have been a kind of a upper middle class or rich person's item, because this is solid silver. And that hallmark there means that it was made in 1914 in Sheffield, and that part there is solid silver, that part there is solid silver, and looks like they had a slight fail of doing the hallmark on that side, but they did it properly on this side. I can't remember what the company was. I looked it up with my mum, because she also bought a silver thing from another stall as well. So anyway, it says Sheffield on each of the blades. You probably won't be able to see this very well. Try and show you on the other blade. It says Sheffield about there. Anyway, so there are those two. That was great. I got this and this from someone else. Well, obviously. And this is incredibly interesting, because what this is it's an early kind of flint and steel. Very early. So what you do is you take this part out. I'm not going to try, because it actually broke when I bought it, because it's quite weak. But basically what you do is you take this part out, soak that part in lighter fluid, and then what you do is you strike it like that, and it catches on. And it catches onto the fluid here. I've done it once, and then that basically you are holding a mini match that will go for a long time. And so yeah, it says something like send to Jack or something like that. I don't know, on the back. Don't know what that means. It says made in England on the back. I think it's probably 1930s through to 1950s. Might be 1920s if I'm lucky. Anyway, very, very interesting. Got both of those for £14, which I think is quite good, seeing as especially as that's got some solid silver parts. Anyway, on the same day, I went to a massive antiques fair. My mum got something else from there as well. I'll just quickly show you that one. She got herself one of these, which is called a button hook, and it's again silver hallmark there, and you basically, that's a Victorian thing or Edwardian thing that you'd use to basically do buttons up on your shoes, because some of the shoes had buttons, and also kind of, it's just kind of a thing that they would use, which to help kind of with them with tying up laces as well, maybe. Anyway, very interesting. So the things that I got from the antiques fair. were these. Now, what these are, so I got these from there. So there were a whole load of antique stalls there, but I kind of only stuck to one. There was a sword stick that I wanted to buy, but that was like 150 quid. The guy dropped it to 130. I think it's just a bit too much, really, and especially the law on sword sticks is because they're classes, I think, as a concealed weapon under the VCR, so it would have been almost impossible for me to get it back home, and if I got stopped I could basically be chucked in jail for about 5 years. Anyway, so these are the things I got. That was £1, and this is an ivory letter opener, or you can use it as a scorer as well, as in you use it to fold pages. It's got elephants on there. They're Indian elephants, so I assume this is from the Imperial British occupation of India, which is probably from basically Victorian times up to the 1948, which was when India got its independence. Anyway, so that was really awesome. Other things I got were these. So this I got from the same person as I got the ivory thing from. It's basically, I think, a map reading device, and it converts, has also got a scale on the back for metric to imperial kilometer conversion, and kind of similar on the other side. It's got this little wheel which you can turn, which will help you to kind of find numbers and stuff, and it's also got a lovely magnifying glass here which I need to give a bit of a clean. Plastic possibly is 70s, possibly might be 40s, wishful thinking. If it's 40s, it's probably 1970s when decimalisation came in. Anyway, off that, other things I got this from the same person. This is a kind of like a sort of jackknife, pocket knife sort of thing. It's made by Tri-Mills. Don't know how well you can see that, but it says Tri-Mills there. I'll bring it under the light so you can see it a little bit better. Tri-Mills. And I think it also says it's Sheffield as well. Anyway, so that was really cool. That was £3. We managed to bargain it down to 2, which was awesome. So that was great. And then I saw someone next to that's where I got that from, those stuff from, who was selling this coin. And I went and saw it and I was like, crikey, this looks awesome. Also it says 1749 on the bottom. Again, I'll move the camera into the light so you can see this a lot better. It says 749. You in the light so you can see it. You have to tell you the story. So I saw it and I was like, I really like the look of this. It looks great. So I went and asked the lady, and she just went, "Oh, it's the old coin, is it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she went, "Oh, it's £1." I was like, "Oh, it's £1." So I went and bought that quickly, and what it was is it's a Swedish coin from when the Swedes actually had some actual clout in the world, which they don't really have anymore. Don't really know why that is. Kind of I think it's probably the 19th century decline of the Swedish Empire. Anyway, that's great. So, it's £1. Thought can't really go wrong for that. So, I think that's a krona. I'm not sure what denomination it is. So, last thing I got was this. This was another great buy. This is a Vesta, and it was on another stall which was quite close. All these 3 stalls that I went to were literally within about 2 or 3 meters of each other. Anyway, so this is a great one. This is also from the stall that my mum got the hook from. The button hook from. So this is a Vesta. 19th century, no, probably early 20th, possibly late 19th if I'm lucky. No hallmarks, so it's probably not silver, although it could be foreign silver, because I think Indian silver wasn't hallmarked, and some German and Czech silver probably isn't hallmarked as well. Anyway, it's not got any English hallmarks or any hallmarks that I can find on at all, so got to assume it isn't silver, but it could be silver. Very ornate design, got a little space here for initials to be engraved, got the little striking part on the bottom there. It's got a little thing to either attach to a chatelaine or a watch chain. Chatelaines were still used in the 19th century by people like housekeepers or some rich women in the 19th century, who are kind of like housewives sort of things. They would have these as well as they were running their homes. They didn't have someone to do it for them, of course. Anyway, so yeah, I just have this attached to my watch chain. These, I believe, are original matches. Reason being that, yes, they do look incredibly like the England's Glory matches that are made now, ironically in Sweden, not England. However, this is an England's Glory match, and you can tell by looking at them that head is a lot lighter, and the England's Glory one, which is at the top, is got a lot lighter stick to it, and it's also a lot longer. Well, not a lot, but a bit longer. So that means that I think these could be original ones to the actual box of well, the Vesta. So that's that one there. Probably not going to. I'm not going to strike them just in case they are the original ones. Anyway, that was just my kind of the slightly poor man's version of the Vesta, the Brighton and May Vesta, which there are thousands more of these than there are these. Anyway, so I got that with the thing that my mum got for £14. So I got it for her. It's a treat, but she'd lent me some money to get something else, so kind of be square. Anyway, so that was the last things that I got in. I think I already had that. It's probably in one of my other earlier videos. So, on to the last kind of big thing that I went to.